So we're going to be diving into Inside Out 2, and we can go through why I think that Inside Out is one of the best depictions of how our mind deals with anxiety and self-talk. More than 60% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. I know, shock, but are not. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, it would mean a lot to me. It helps get my videos seen by more people, and you would know when I have new content out. It's completely free. I spend a lot of time and energy on the videos, so you let me know in the comments below if you did. Thank you.
Come on, Riley, get the puck! Take it!
This is a really accurate depiction, especially when we're under a lot of pressure. And there's certain activities that anxiety can actually make us better. Anxiety will make us better with skills that we know really well, where we don't have to consciously think. It becomes muscle memory. So a lot of skills that are physically demanding, anxiety will make you think faster, be able to act faster. It actually is processing information at a quicker speed. It's burning all of that excess sugar to be able to go to all of those muscles, so you'd be able to run, fight, and deal with things at a quicker pace.
I'm not good enough! Michigan, what are you doing?
But the problem with it is if you also have a lot of strong negative self-talk, that can be self-defeating, where you start questioning yourself and you get into your own head. I work with a lot of people that deal with sports at really high levels, and this negative self-talk, especially when they've made a mistake, takes you out of the game. One is you're no longer in the moment and paying attention to the task at hand, and the second thing is you might start doubting your own capabilities. And because of that, you can start to make mistakes that you wouldn't if you were just there and believing in what you can do. So your own inner processing and your thoughts really do change your type of action. So you want to be aware of when you make a mistake or when things are difficult, what are you saying to yourself in your head? It really makes a huge difference to the end product.
We're on the same team! Well, Danny might be a little mad at us, but they'll all forgive us when we make the team. Come on, Riley!
And sometimes it does make us unifocused. We're just thinking about one thing and not all of the other processes at hand. Sometimes you want to be able to manage many things, but having anxiety can make you shut out everything else and almost look at the world like there's blinders on you. You can end up winning the battle, but losing the war.
You can't just bottle us up! Oh, that's a great idea! It's not forever. It's just until Riley makes varsity, or until she turns 18, or maybe forever. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Does anxiety actually shut off certain sets of our emotion? It does. When you're really anxious, especially on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say an 8, a 9, or a 10, the cognitive part of your brain, the part that's thinking and processing things or dealing with consequences to actions, is actually chemically shut off, especially when you feel that deer in headlights kind of moment. What that is your brain has actually chemically turned off the part of our cognitive processing system, and so we're kind of just going through these autonomic functions. And so because of that, sometimes we're not really paying attention to things. We can't process things as well. We might forget what we're saying. Higher order functioning becomes much more difficult when our anxiety is too high. So even in a really physical situation, you kind of want to be in the zone, that part of your anxiety where it's beneficial for you. But if you allow it to get too high, you can end up having an anxiety attack or a panic attack where you're not there and you're not really able to think or figure things out. And that happens when you just get a dump of adrenaline, epinephrine, into your system.
We're gonna blow up this cliff.
Yep.
And then we'll ride an avalanche of bad memories back to headquarters.
Yeah.
And how do we keep the bad memories from forming bad beliefs?
I don't know.
And this is a scene where certain emotions are cut off from Riley. And that can happen. One is it can happen because we're really anxious, but also sometimes when we deal with trauma, some people aren't able to process or understand or even feel certain emotions. And that's actually a really serious sign of trauma because people have actually gotten rid of parts of themselves. And so I think that that is actually very accurate to what can happen to people. And when we deal with all of that negative self-talk when we're under high pressure situations, it can be this avalanche of feelings and emotions that you're not able to control. That really is that difference when we've gone from being at this optimal kind of in the zone feeling to feeling like we can't control that. And often those voices of negativity and self-doubt can really flood that and make us doubt our own capabilities. And because we're doubting our own capabilities, we end up making more errors. And so negative self-talk, being able to control that, is so very important for our own self-belief, for our own self-esteem, but also for the way that we're going to be able to handle really difficult, complex situations. That's when you would want to take a breath, be able to believe in yourself, and know that you've handled things that are worse. But also you want to put the world into perspective, that you're going to do the best that you can with the task at hand. And in most cases, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. And you also want to be honest about being able to reflect on what are your skills and what aren't.
Anderson, penalty box, 2 minutes.
No!
And a lot of people will say that, no, my negative self-talk, it's just being honest, it's just being valid, I need it, without it I wouldn't be successful, or they feel that it is a just punishment for all the things that they've been through. One is, very often our negative self-talk is just being mean or cruel or abusive and more detrimental than a benefit. Now, I'm not going to say the opposite is true either, that we want to be constantly saying things that are inaccurate and we're the best and we're the greatest. We want to be accurate with what we say, but being mean and hard on ourselves, especially when we're dealing with difficult situations, is not going to make us better. We want to be a good coach. We want to be able to prop ourselves up and understand and learn and grow from the situations at hand. And if you wouldn't say it to someone else or someone that you care about, even if they've been through something similar, you shouldn't say it to yourself. And in the end, it also ruins our own choices and the things that we're deciding to do, because if we think that we're crap or that we suck, why would we make good choices? We don't deserve it.
We heard Grace. It all happened so fast. I didn't even see her.
I'm not good enough.
Oh no, what did I do? I can fix it.
And that feeling of losing control or feeling like we don't know what happened or why can cause a strong amount of anxiety, where your heart beating so fast, your breathing becoming quicker, this rush of feelings and emotion that flood us. And the way to be able to deal with this would be, one, grounding, breathing, soothing yourself, taking a moment, know that it's going to pass. Now, the thing is that when you're having an actual anxiety or panic attack, the adrenaline's already in your system. So you also want to kind of time it. It's usually about 15 minutes. For some people, it might be longer, and you might have some aftershocks afterwards. But to know that once the adrenaline's in your system, it's going to have to metabolize through your system in order to get rid of it. So it's hard when your anxiety is that high to bring it down really quickly. But practicing those techniques of breathing, grounding yourself, and knowing that an anxiety attack is not dangerous, just doesn't feel pleasant, will really help you feel better and not feed the anxiety attack more.
I'm not good enough.
Come on, Riley. Get it together. Come on, Riley. Get it together.
I'm not good enough.
You have to score, Riley, or this will all have been for nothing.
Anxiety, you're putting too much pressure on her.
I think that's a really accurate depiction of how people feel when the world is rushing in and we feel like we don't have control. We speed up. We often are going through these rapid cycling thoughts. And often we think that we can think our way out of an anxiety attack, but often what happens is we actually are thinking ourselves more into an anxiety attack. So what I usually tell people to do, even though you would hate to do this, no one wants to do this, is to take a breath and actually journal or talk it out really slowly. You want to be able to slow everything down. I would say that if you can, in situations that it's possible, to actually write it out. And I like to write it out by hand because that slows it down, because writing is a cognitive activity. So that forces the thinking part of your brain to be a part of this solution, instead of just having that limbic part, the part that's going through fight or flight, that's going to spin faster the more that you feed it. So it starts to wake up the cognitive part, which makes you look at things. And almost always when you write it out, it's not as big, not as dangerous, not as dire as what you had thought it to be. And so even though most people don't want to do it, it usually is really helpful. Then you would actually write a solution to your problem in an honest way. And it also allows your anxiety a place to exist where it's not just going to disappear, where you can go back to it later and you have a solution. It's also a good idea to just track the things that make you spin and why. In the end, we're all like games. You want to understand the patterns of your behavior, the things that trigger you, the things that hurt you, the things that make you feel anxious, because if you know it, you can fix it.
Anxiety, stop!
And haven't all of us who have ever had an anxiety or panic attack, like this is that moment that is so true. When you're talking to someone, it's like they're a deer in headlights, they're not really there. It's because they're not really there. They're not processing anything. Anything you say does not matter. It's not going in. When we are at a high enough level of anxiety, it's almost like we're just drowning. We're just trying to come up for air. Nothing else matters. And so in these moments, the best way to be able to reach someone is to be really soft, take that time, and to be able to reach out to them when they're ready. But if you're talking at someone or you yourself are anxious, you're just going to feed that fire and make them feel worse. So mocking, yelling, or making them feel judged is actually going to make their anxiety levels go higher instead of being able to bring them down.
You don't get to choose who Riley is. Anxiety?
Sometimes we're so angry at our anxiety, we feel like it's there to hurt us or harm us or that it's torturing us. And sometimes that is how it feels. I think that also that point of joy, understanding that anxiety is scared and it's just protective. And that's what it's there for. Anxiety keeps us alive. In a life or death situation, you want to have an anxiety system. And a lot of people that are really good in those life or death moments, the ones that you want when things are under pressure, have actually higher anxiety systems. All of our emotions serve a purpose. And I think that that's the beautiful thing about Inside Out too. Even the emotions that most people look at as negative, they're not. We need them all to survive, and they all play a part in who we are. It's interesting because I have some issues with some of the proponents of positive psychology where everything should be good and great. I don't think that that's honest either. And I think that that's why often it doesn't work. You don't want to lie to yourself to be negative and that you're horrible and demonize yourself. But you also don't want to say that I'm always great and everything is perfect and that I'm the most wonderful person either. You want to be really honest in between. In order for our brain to be able to learn and grow, you actually want to see yourself with an accurate depiction of who you are. Because how can you fix things if you don't actually know who you are in a way that's accurate? And so I think that it's important to be able to be supportive, caring, and loving to yourself, but not to lie in order to do it.
I was just trying to protect her. But you're right. We don't get to choose who Riley is.
And I love the we don't get to. For either side, you shouldn't be negating all of the things about you that you don't want to look at, all the negative things either. We're a mix of everything. And I think that when we can be able to embrace all of ourselves, that's when we can have actual concrete change. If you lie about who you are, you're going to leave things out, things that you need to learn from, to grow from, and you're going to be able to fix it so much more accurately, to be able to be a better person, the person you deserve to be.
We keep the best and toss the rest.
I think that a lot of us do that. We kind of want to protect ourselves or become defensive about all the things that are not pretty, all of those memories that are horrible, and we kind of box them up. The problem with that is that they're going to come out and sprout out at various situations in our life if we haven't dealt with them. And that's why I think that therapy can be so very beneficial, or dealing with them in your own way. It could be through journaling, through talking it out, through song, through dance. But to be able to kind of go into that dark closet where we've kept all of those memories, and to be able to go through feelings of forgiveness and learning, and what pieces of hurt or trauma have caused us these certain behaviors that we may want to change. In order to do that, you can have actual healing, forgiveness, and be able to live more free and light. So we end up going to those dark places, and I know this is really therapy, but it really is a gift that we give to ourselves.
Hey, Anderson, tripping!
Because even situations that have been difficult for us, those are the things that give us strength. To remember that we've been through things, that we've done things, and to be able to look at ourselves in a really clear light. And if we look at every moment as what have we learned, what have we grown from, who do we want to be, that can cause not just concrete change, but strength, inner peace, and self-confidence. And looking at these things as a way to challenge ourselves to be able to do better and to know that we have the strength to be able to do it. So looking at ourselves in a more holistic way, I think, is much healthier and also more honest.
I'm selfish. I'm kind. I'm not good enough. I'm a good person. I need to fit in, but I want to be myself. I'm brave, but I get scared.
I love that, because that inner self-talk, it's honest, it's reflective, and that's what we can use to be able to move on. Not these negative, malicious, horrible things, but these actual honest statements of, you know what, I want to do more, I want to be better, but I'm scared of the times that I've made mistakes. I'm scared of failing, but I still want to try, even if I do. But I may not like failure if it happens. If you want to increase your own inner confidence, you can get close to that goal by expanding your mind and yourself, and you can do that with today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. Learn, enhance, grow with Brilliant's ever-expanding set of new courses. Brilliant makes college-level courses available to everyone so you can be smart as a whip. Each course is designed for high-velocity learning to help you stay focused and reach your goals and not be the last one to the party. And Brilliant makes learning like a game. It has fun features, so it lets you challenge yourself, compete with others, so that you never get bored. Because we know that when learning is fun and engaging, it makes knowledge stick better, and you will remember more easily and quickly. And Brilliant has thousands of lessons. They have math, chemistry, physics, engineering, computer science, and so many more. And if you're worried, no, don't be, because there are new lessons being added every month. So far, I've done the courses on algebra, logic, geometry, and I found them all really engaging. And yes, even though these courses might be difficult or even scary, the wonderful thing is that Brilliant breaks them up into these little chunks to make them easy to be able to absorb. Anything that you find too difficult, just go back a step or take a look at their really cute animations to be able to understand the concept more easily. And for me, that makes a huge difference because I'm a visual learner. I need to see things to be able to understand how they work. So just practice 15 minutes a day. No one can tell me they don't have 15 minutes to be able to be smarter and learn a concept that they want to understand. They also have new courses such as designing programs to help hone your programming skills and how large language models work. If you're not sure what either of those are, you should probably try them out. And if you're still not sure, just try everything. Yes, everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days. And yes, that still helps me, so go ahead and do it right now. Just head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. And if you love Brilliant, which you completely will, you can also get 20% off with an annual premium subscription. So just click on that button on the screen or head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really does help out my channel, so thank you so much to you and Brilliant.org for supporting my videos, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And so I think that a lot of Inside Out we can really use to be able to apply it to ourselves, to be a more honest, reflective look at ourselves, and that's the way that we grow. So that's my belief of why Inside Out 2 is one of the best depictions of healthy inner self-talk. You can let me know about your self-talk and your thoughts on Inside Out 2 in the comments below.